Hey, welcome to the weekly waffle. This week I've been mainly thinking about chasing moments. You know that kind of thing in life where you have like such a great time or such a great experience and you desperately try and replicate it and it doesn't always really work in the same way that you thought. Last year, like me and some friends went to Melt Festival in Berlin in Germany, and it's this incredible festival, you know, in this disused quarry, so it's all concrete, there's no like problems with mud, there's like proper toilets, everything's in a bowl so you can see the stage. They have this huge like quarry digging equipment that's all lit up with lasers and disco balls and lights, and it's just wow. There's like it's on an island, so there's like a little beach, you can go into the water, there's like proper food. It's the least stressful festival I've ever been to. You know, like normally English festivals, like it's a hassle to get the tickets, hassle to get there, hassle to stay there, getting money out when you're there, charging your phone, like getting alcohol, like getting in, just every interaction with the festival experience in the UK is awful. Like it's just really stressful. You know, just going to the toilet takes forever and is like a really traumatic experience. You know, it's just, and the weird thing was at Melt Festival was they kind of just let you be an adult. There's like no security patrolling, no one kind of misbehaves and, you know, climbs up things and jumps off things. There's none of that kind of British like noise that happens constantly from like 12 o'clock onwards. And the only times I ever did hear that they were English people, and you're just like, mate. Like everyone's there quite trashed at 2 AM, but it's just quieter, no one's like shouting. I don't know, it's just because like we're super repressed as a country that we need alcohol and then it all just goes weird. It was a really, really lovely experience. You know, I got to spend some time with like my closest friends and it was just amazing, it was just brilliant. So when the time kind of came around again this year to like what we're gonna do, what festival we're gonna go to, and we kind of left it a bit last minute, so we thought, you know what, let's just go back to Melt. We had such a great time, it was fantastic. And whilst it was a good time, it's never the same, because there's something intangible about when something special happens, and maybe it's almost just the act of it feeling special makes it special. That sounds weird. Like the fact that that happened once means that it won't be special again because it's a similar experience, so it can't be. And I mean, there are other kind of factors that, you know, it's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle or whatever. You know, like the weather wasn't as good, like it wasn't quite the same, and I don't know. I also got kind of ill actually from Saturday onwards, which might have marred my opinion of the whole experience. And then spent like, after the festival we were gonna spend like a couple of days just hanging out in Berlin, and I just slept. I was really sick, like really, really sick. The sickest I've been in like a couple of years. So obviously that's kind of slightly jaded my perspective, but it got me thinking about a lot of the other times in life where I've tried to do that, where I've tried to replicate something that happened before, and it's just impossible. I mean, I'm starting to realize more and more that life is kind of like herding cats, and actually the more you try not to move it in the direction you want it to go, the more it goes in the direction you want it to go. Literally makes no sense. I think it comes from, you know, doing presenting and trying to force life and make life happen and maximize opportunities, and, you know, and having depression, I've got to be really like strong-willed in my head just to get through stuff, and that voice is so strong and so powerful and can make me achieve so many like fantastic things, but also it's just kind of like a bit of a d-bag when you don't want it to be. It's like quite hard to turn off. And I think sort of the moment I tried to kind of like let go of that, I've stopped trying to control things, because you can't, like you're kidding yourself. That's when actually things got better, and got better at work, and actually career-wise things got better anyway, which is weird, you know, just kind of letting go and not really trying. It's a really frustrating concept that you try to make something happen and then it doesn't happen. And then if you don't try and make something happen, then it happens. Life is weird, it's really weird. I think I'm also kind of getting to that point where I don't really like repetition. There are so many fantastic kind of opportunities and things that you could do with life. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. Like when I used to live in my hometown, and I've got like, you know, great friends from there, but they just want to like go out to the pub, and it would always be the same thing all the time. And don't get me wrong, hilarious, like great times, but it was just the same thing, like over and over and over again. And I never understood why anyone would want the same experience again and again and again, because you've already done it. What's the new thing? What's the next thing? There's so many places like I want to go, and things I want to see, and things I want to do, and I need to get better at trying to make those things happen. I think just my own sanity. Like part of the reason why you end up feeling more depressed when you're depressed is because you feel depressed and then you sit around doing nothing and you're like, I wasted my life, what's the point of being alive if I don't know memory? Anyway, all that. So yeah, part of the problem is not doing things. I suppose it's the same with like hangover regret, you know, like you waste a day, sometimes two, depending on how big the party was. Yeah. And the thing that makes you feel really shitty is not just the alcohol, but it's also like a couple days later you're like, I've just wasted my life. And I get that, and obviously like giving up alcohol for a year, you just get so much done, just get so much done, and you don't have that horrible feeling of regret all the time, like you're wasting time and all this sort of jazz. It's yeah, it's just a tricky thing not to do, and I feel like I was treated like a bit of a leper when I did it. And I don't know if I could really do that again. I don't know, there's got to be balance. There's got to be a way. I suppose it's just, I suppose it's just being reasonable and sort of everything kind of in moderation. I find that very hard as someone who's kind of all or nothing. I'm like, I'm in or I'm out. I'm not like half in a boat at one point. Like I'm just, let's do it or let's not, you know. And trying to find those kind of layers of grey, like within myself, have been challenging. Just goes against my nature. I think it's, yeah, it comes from having that kind of depressed, like forceful mind that just pushes you through stuff. Just get to the end, push through, just do it. Yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking an awful lot about that, about like kind of chasing dream. I suppose it's same with the relationships as well, you know. Trying to sort of chase those moments and those times when things felt incredible, but they don't feel like that anymore. And you can't really force life. And even if you did, like I say, like it's special because it's unique. Okay, let me hit it in another way, right? So, games like Mass Effect, right? Sorry to get a bit geeky. Games like Mass Effect and stuff, like where you can, well, when you used to be able to go through and have like different playthroughs, you know, being Paragon or Renegade or whatever, and or things like The Last of Us, anything where there's a bit of a decision involved. And I know people who like to go back and replay and have like a different experience, but I never do. I never replay a game, because what makes it special is the fact that you play it once. Right? And whatever decisions you've made have so much more meaning because you know you're only going to do it once. Whereas if you go back and, you know, do it all again and do it slightly differently, suddenly it's not really so special anymore. And I guess that's kind of how I feel about life. Like you get one playthrough, everything has meaning because it's your one playthrough. You don't get a do-over. There's no respawns, there's no regenerative health yet. I mean, that's what gives everything meaning. I feel like I did a lot of soul searching while I was sweating in a bed in Berlin. There's a lot of sweating going on. I don't really remember much about anything from Saturday. I was so sick. I just haven't been that sick in ages. I don't know whether it's because I went a bit mad working out the week before, because I was like, I'm going to do nothing for a week. And then my body was just wrecked. So I just picked up like some random bug and it just floored me. I don't know. I've been so kind of focused on the right way of doing things. Like I say, all or nothing, and training and eating like the right foods or whatever. And I feel like now I don't really want to do that anymore, because it's just so limiting and you are just wasting your life. there's got to be a better alternative where it's kind of everything in moderation, and you can manage and you can still achieve stuff and achieve goals and achieve levels of fitness, but without it just kind of being everything, you know? I can't help it, I have to like compartmentalize like one thing at one time and focus on it. I find it really difficult just to be balanced, but clearly that's what I need help with. And to like look back at your time and think, I've done something interesting. I've done something that's kind of inspired me. It doesn't matter if it's crap or boring to anyone else, or just something that I'm proud of. You know, that's why I really like doing the patch jackets and stuff. I know it sounds really stupid and, you know, oh, I made one and made a bag and da-da-da, but I don't know. Like, I love that jacket, I really do. I feel really happy when I wear it because it's something that I made. And I feel like, I mean, I used to go to art college, right? Studied photography, did all those things, and kind of let it all slide a little bit because of like getting into presenting, and really that it would have made the most sense to keep going and having like a creative outlet, you know, something just for me. And I recently decided to spend a lot of money, I haven't quite paid it off yet, on a DSLR. I just got myself like a 6D and a couple of lenses because I was like, I just need something. I just need some kind of creative outlet for myself. There's nothing to do with work. There's nothing to do with anybody. It's just for me. I also got like this Polaroid camera the other day. Well, actually it's a Fuji Polaroid camera, but everyone calls them Polaroid. I've been having like loads of fun thinking about stuff that I could do with it, and I don't know. It's like, there's stuff that you do in your life that feels so you. And for some reason, the older you get, you just kind of stop doing it. I mean, I used to drum a lot. I mean, I live in a flat now. I can't really do that, and there's no room for my electronic drum kit, but soon my baby will come home to me. But these things that you do that just make you feel normal and make you feel you, and then slowly as life goes on, you kind of chip away at them. You know, other things take precedence, other things become more important. And the more I've pushed forward in life and tried to change who I am, to be better at my job, or to succeed more, or to whatever the stupid reason was that I decided to try and alter me in some way. And I just really feel like I've come to the point where I wish I was the old me. I think I've just read too many self-help books, like trying to like combat depression and read all these things, and I feel like it's just befuddled my brain with too much information. It's too much information. I think like, okay, it's like when you have kids, not that I've had children, but I've seen people do it. People get really, really caught up with reading books about having kids, and this is the right way, and this is that way, and this is the way you should do this, and this is the way you should do that, and like it's really confusing, and all these parents like freak out and they don't know what to do. And what I always say to my friends is that it just comes down to like common sense and using your best judgment, because like every baby is different, every baby has a different way. I've spoken to like so many of my friends who have kids, and one kid sleeps this way and other this and other, like they're all different. They're all completely different. And we're all completely different, right? It's like, we're not allowed to trust our common sense anymore. Like everyone's telling us what to do, and you want to believe someone because you're scared or you're afraid or you want a solution to your life in some way. And yet, so we take all this stuff on board, and all it does is just confuse us, because you know what? We're all different. We're all completely different. What's right for this person is not right for that person. And we're not stupid. We know when we're eating badly, we know when we're not exercising, we know when we're doing stuff that's damaging to our health. We're not stupid. We can choose to or to not, right? And maybe if we just took away all these other people's opinions about how we should live our life, that we'd actually just find a happy medium and realise that we're actually okay. We're actually fine. And actually we're happier just figuring this stuff out for ourselves. Well, I got quite ranty towards the end. Sorry about that. I don't know. So yeah, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. I think I might stop talking now because I feel like I've gone down a bit of a road. But yeah. That was this week's weekly waffle, or as I might call in the future, too long. too long, listen later, because they are quite lengthy. I don't know, everyone does like super fast jump cuts. I think I'm just gonna be the girl who talks too much and doesn't edit much of anything. We'll see. And with that, my camera died because it was sick of hearing me speak. I'll see you next week.